There is a referee in world football under whom Lionel Messi has never lost. Not once. 5 matches, 5 Messi wins, 0 defeats, 0 draws, and he was even part of the officiating crew for Argentina's 2022 World Cup final. So of all the officials on the entire planet, guess who FIFA has just handed the England semi-final to? And remember exactly where we are right now. Argentina and FIFA are already buried under a mountain of controversy this tournament, accused match after match of getting every single big decision to fall their way. And now for Argentina's most important game yet, FIFA reaches into the hat and pulls out the one man who has never in his life seen Messi lose. It's almost insane that they'd make this call. Or maybe, just maybe, it isn't insane at all, because this is starting to look exactly like a governing body that wants Messi and Argentina in that final. Before a single ball has been kicked in Atlanta, a huge chunk of the world has already decided how this one ends. Let's get into it. His name is Ismail Elfath. He is 44, a 2-time Major League Soccer Referee of the Year, widely respected across North America, and on Wednesday, he will be the man in the middle for England against Argentina. Here is the record that has set the internet on fire. Messi's teams are reportedly 5 wins and 0 losses in matches Elfath has been involved in. Elfath was the 4th official for the 2022 World Cup final in Qatar, the night Argentina beat France on penalties. He was the referee for Messi's very first Inter-Miami trophy, the 2023 Leagues Cup final, also won on penalties. And he has taken charge of 3 of Messi's Miami League games on top of that. Add it all up and you get a spotless Messi record. Never a loss, never even a draw. And now, of all the games in the world, he has got the one where Messi is 90 minutes from another final. Here is a detail that complicates the panic before we even get going, though. Look at what Elfath has actually done at this tournament, and it hardly screams friend of the favorites. He has refereed 3 games already, and one of them was Norway's shock last 16 win over Brazil, a result where he presided over one of the giants of the sport crashing out. He has not been shy with his cards either, dishing out 6 yellows and a straight red to Uruguay's Agustin Canobio for a high challenge, a dismissal Canobio was so unhappy with that he confronted Elfath and grabbed his shirt. This is not the profile of a soft referee gently waving the big names through. If anything, his tournament suggests a man perfectly willing to make the hard, unpopular call, which is worth holding on to as the outrage builds. And here's why this is exploding rather than just being a fun bit of trivia. It did not land in a vacuum. It landed on top of the most suspicious run any team has had at this World Cup. Argentina reached the semi-final trailed by a cloud of controversy. Against Egypt, a brilliant Egyptian goal was chalked off and a late penalty shout ignored, prompting Egypt to file a formal complaint and their coach Hossam Hassan to declare flatly, "The cup is directed towards Argentina." Against Switzerland, a VAR review turned an Argentine yellow into a Swiss red and flipped the entire game. Go back to the group stage and Messi escaped a card for a stamp that many called a straight red. Over and over, the 50-50s have fallen the champions' way. So when FIFA, the same FIFA that suspended a red card after a phone call from a president and is sitting on a formal complaint accusing it of favoring Argentina, appoints the one referee on earth under whom Messi has literally never lost, people don't see a coincidence. They see a script. And the accusation writing itself across social media is blunt. The fix is in, it was planned from the start, and this whole tournament is being steered toward a Messi farewell final. And honestly, if you only look at the optics, it is a little bit insane. Follow the incentives. FIFA is set to bank billions from this tournament, and a Messi final is the single most valuable outcome imaginable, the golden goose of global television. The FIFA president openly adores Messi, to the point he invited Messi's club side to the Club World Cup despite them not even qualifying. Stack the money, the affection, the string of favorable calls, and now a referee with a perfect Messi record. And from the outside, it stops looking like a sporting competition and starts looking like a story with the ending already written. That is the perception. And for FIFA, it is an absolute public relations catastrophe. But now let me be the adult in the room for a minute, because the easy version of this story is a lie, and I'm not going to sell you a lie. The 5-0 stat is correlation, not proof, and it falls apart the second you poke it. A referee does not control who wins a football match. Elfath being the fourth official at the 2022 final is completely meaningless, because the fourth official does not make a single call on the pitch, and he manages the benches and holds up the substitution board. And Messi's Inter Miami is a stacked, trophy-hoarding team that wins most weeks regardless of who is refereeing. So Messi winning some MLS games when Elfath was on duty is not a conspiracy. It is just good teams winning games. Elfath himself is not some shadowy FIFA plant. He is a man who came to America as an 18-year-old on a diversity visa lottery, took up refereeing because he was frustrated with the standard, and worked his way to the very top of his profession. There is nothing in his record that suggests anything other than a very good referee. And here is the part that genuinely demolishes the "why did they pick him" outrage. The fact almost nobody screaming online seems to know. FIFA could not appoint an English referee for this game. FIFA could not appoint an Argentine referee for this game either. Their own conflict of interest rules specifically bar officials from either nation from taking charge of an England-Argentina match. And not just for the normal reason of nationality, but because of the political rivalry rooted in the Falklands conflict. That is why England's Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor are ineligible. That is why Argentina's Facundo Tello is ineligible. FIFA was forced to reach for a neutral referee from a third country, and the pool of elite, available neutrals this deep into a World Cup is small. Whoever they picked, someone was always going to find a tenuous link and screenshot it. There is, to be perfectly clear, no proof of anything here whatsoever. And this conflict of interest rule is not some convenient excuse invented on the spot either. It is the same regulation that ruled Anthony Taylor out of refereeing the 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France. It applies to the third place playoff too, which is guaranteed to involve one of these two nations. So Oliver, Taylor, and Tello are locked out of that as well. In other words, FIFA's own rulebook systematically strips away the most obvious neutral-seeming English and Argentine candidates and forces the choice onto a shrinking list of officials from everywhere else. Elfath, an experienced World Cup official who has already worked this tournament, is a genuinely logical pick from that list. The "why him" of all people outrage mostly evaporates once you understand how few people were actually eligible to be standing there. So what is the actual scandal if it isn't a proven fix? The scandal is that FIFA, after the tournament it has just put everyone through, was tone-deaf enough to appoint a referee carrying this exact baggage into the single, most scrutinized, most accusation-primed match of the entire competition. They had every reason on earth to know how it would look. They knew about the Egypt complaint. They knew about the Vargentina memes. They knew half the planet is already convinced the champions are being carried. And they still walked a referee with a headline-ready Messi record straight into the eyes of that storm. That's not necessarily corruption, but it is a staggering failure of judgment. And it's the same failure we've seen from FIFA all summer. An organization that has stopped caring how anything looks because it's spent months teaching the entire world to assume the worst about it. And that's the real tragedy of it, because the person this hurts most might be Elfath himself. Even if he is completely spotless, even if he referees the game of his life with total fairness, FIFA has engineered a situation where a good official walks out into a stadium in front of a global audience that has already decided he's bent. Every decision he makes on Wednesday is now radioactive. A soft foul, a yellow card, an offside flag, a penalty. If any of it goes Argentina's way, the internet detonates in an instant. Told you so. Rigged. If it goes England's way, the Argentine side cries the reverse. He has been placed in a position where he cannot win, and the football itself will be watched through a fog of suspicion no matter what actually happens on the grass. FIFA didn't just appoint a referee. It poisoned its own showpiece before kickoff and hung a good man out to dry. Here's the thing everyone shrieking rigged conveniently forgets, though. England are more than good enough to settle this themselves and make the whole argument irrelevant. Jude Bellingham is in the form of his life, Harry Kane is scoring, and Argentina, for all their favors, are a flawed and exhausted team that has needed extra time and a miracle just to get here. The bookmakers actually make England slight favorites for this semi-final, with Argentina rated the least likely of the four remaining teams to lift the trophy. If England turn up and play the way they can, they win, referee or no referee. That said, don't mistake Argentina for a team riding luck alone, because that's lazy too. Whatever you make of the refereeing, this is a side with a real plan and real quality. Lionel Scaloni has built a compact midfield diamond around Leandro Paredes, who is completing more accurate passes than any player at the tournament, that shields a defense which has conceded fewer expected goals than almost anyone left. Messi is still the joint top scorer with 8 goals and the tournament's most creative player. And in Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez, they carry match winners who can settle a tie out of nothing, exactly as they did against Switzerland. England will have to be genuinely excellent to beat them, but excellent is well within England's range. And that is the perfect antidote to every conspiracy theory going. Beat Argentina so clearly, so decisively, that not a single whistle on the planet could have rescued them. Silence the noise on the pitch. Whether England are capable of that is the genuine question of the night. And notice that's a question about football, not about the man holding the cards. So we head into Wednesday with the eeriest pre-match storyline of the whole tournament. A referee who has never once seen Messi lose, appointed by a governing body almost nobody trusts anymore, to a game an enormous portion of the world has already written the ending to. Maybe it's nothing, pure coincidence dressed up as a smoking gun. Maybe it's the most tone-deaf appointment in modern World Cup history. But either way, FIFA has made sure that when the whistle blows at 3 o'clock Eastern in Atlanta, every eye in the building will be on the man in the middle just as much as on Messi, Bellingham, and the rest. And that in a World Cup semi-final between these two great enemies is a genuine shame. Do you think the appointment is a genuine red flag? Or just paranoia after a chaotic tournament? Drop your verdict below before kickoff, and I'll be right back here afterward to break down every single call, whichever way they go.